What is up, everybody? It's your boy Versity here today, and we have to talk about Dreamcast Guy once again. This guy is so butthurt about the Starfield game. It is utterly ridiculous. I just been looking at the past few of his tweets because I thought this was the only one about him just saying Starfield looks real mid. That tweet alone is already outrageous, but he made several more outrageous tweets. So much so that even a developer had to step in and say, "Hey, cool your socks. This game is massive. Why are you hating on this game?" Pretty much, but this was the first tweet he made around 1:15 p.m. when the whole Xbox showcase was going on. He made more tweets throughout the day, just trying to hate on Xbox or hate on Starfield in general. This guy, like I said, his official name is Sony Fanboy PlayStation Guy at this point. Like, this guy wants to try to be like a neutral, but this dude just does nothing but hate on Xbox all day. It's just bizarre, but, you know. And so he made a poll, says, how do you feel about the Xbox showcase and Starfield Direct? Overwhelming. Even his own audience was like overwhelming. This showcase was amazing. This was an A+ showcase because, once again, this is probably Xbox's greatest showcase of all time at this point. Definitely the greatest showcase of this year. We saw so much in what's planned for Xbox. I at least am confident Xbox owner what I have on my platform. Unlike on PlayStation, I don't really know what I'm playing on PlayStation besides Spider-Man 2 and a few third-party games that Sony tied to their ecosystem by money had with the Square Enix games. But other than that, I don't really know what's in the future for PlayStation, to be honest. Besides those games I just named, a lot of games as a service games I don't care about. So I think Xbox put a lot of people confidence in their people who bought their consoles. So even with this poll that he did, which this is probably backfired because he probably wanted people to hate the showcase as much as he did or whatever, but it backfired. People overwhelmingly liked this showcase. That was amazing. And people were saying, quick delete since it doesn't fit your narrative, because at this point, we know what narrative this guy's trying to push at this point. It's pretty obvious. But then, this is like at 1:50 p.m., so he keeps going around like 8:32 p.m. I do find it interesting that Xbox games made by Xbox run. So this was a big gap too. Like, this was a 7-hour gap. This dude just still didn't chill out. He was still salty. Like, this is a long gap for somebody to be this salty about Xbox. That you're literally tweeting about Xbox all day. A 7-hour span of just saltiness. This guy's descent into pure saltiness is just astounding. Because who would be this butthurt? I guess that poll not going over in his favor like really just made this guy butthurt, because he says, I do find it interesting that Xbox games made by Xbox run at 30 FPS, but third parties still run at 60 FPS. Clearly that isn't a hardware issue, that's a dev issue. So people are just saying that's a dev's problem why this game runs at 30, which it is quite true. They gave a reason why they want the game to run at 30. And this game is massive, by the way. This is probably one of the biggest games that we've ever seen at this point. But, you know, people are still complaining this game runs at 30, which is fascinating. So this is the last tweet he made before eventually somebody took his phone away. He just wrapped it up for the night. He says, "Oh, people are mad that I said Starfield should be 60 FPS on a $5 console." Once again, this is a massive game for the Xbox, for consoles in general. Like, if it was on PS5, it wouldn't run at 60 FPS. And like, to get this game at 60 and at 4K resolution, you need a high-end PC more than likely to do that. So I don't know why people want to compare a $5 console to like a 2,000 plus PC. It's just fascinating to me. Like, they think this should run as smoothly as a high-end PC, which I'm pretty sure the high-end PC is probably struggling with this game running at those same type of frame rates, but whatever. And he also says, keep defending unfinished games, bros. Then this is when a game developer jumped in and told him to calm his horses, because this person says, game dev here, big fan by the way, wanted to clarify it's not a sign of an unfinished game, it's a choice. 60 FPS on this scale would be a large hit to the visual fidelity. Yeah, to get this game at 60, you probably could play this as a 1080p or a 720p. It's going to be super low and blurry. It's not going to be a good experience. So it's like, they might as well just say, hey, just make it run at 30, it's going to look fantastic. So I was like, I don't see what the big deal is. My guess is they want to go for a seamless look and less pop in, and of course you're right to dislike the choice. So even a game dev, and I think he works at like Sony Santa Monica or whatever PlayStation studio, even he chimed in and said, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. This game is massive. So of course they want to keep it at 30, so it's not going to have any issues. But yeah, I think there's an interview with Todd Howard was talking about it as well too.
It's 4K on the X, it's 1440 on the S. We do lock it at 30 because we want that fidelity, we want all that stuff. We don't want to sacrifice any of it. Fortunately, in this one, we've got it running great. It's often running way above that.
The footage they're showing looks amazing.
But on the consoles, we do lock it because we prefer the consistency. Yeah. Right? You're not even thinking about it. And we don't ever want to sacrifice that experience that makes our games, really, really special. So it feels great. We're really happy with how it feels, even in the heat.
Bro, I'm fine with that. They wanted to make it look as fluid as possible to run on consoles, which I don't see an issue with that. If you really have this much of an issue, drop $2,000 for that high-end gaming PC that a lot of you guys say you have. Drop $2,000 on that PC then and shut up. I was like, I'm fine with this game running at 30. This is not going to be game of the year contender. This is going to be game of the generation contender with how this game was looking. I was once again looking at the showcase this morning, and that game, Starfield, looks freaking amazing. But, people are hating the new narratives that it's not 60 frames per second. It's like, really? This game is massive. So much stuff you could do in this game. I am on board. I don't care. People try to put all this negativity out there. I think this game is already #1 on Steam right now. So people are hyped for this game. It's #1 on Steam. Pretty sure people are going to be buying Xboxes to play this game no matter what these internet naysayers say, hey, it's such a bad, it's at 30. People are going to be lined up to play this game. This is going to be, like I said, game of the gen contender at this point. This game looks so amazing. How much stuff you can do being fully immersed into this RPG like this space RPG. It was going to be next level with this, but it's just like, wow, it really got these guys butthurt, especially this guy. Like, how you butthurt for the entire day from the showcase? It's like, geez, it's just fascinating. It is not unfinished goofy. It's the choice Howard and his team decided to go with. You know how many issues they would get if they tried to up the frame rate, and it's like, why make that much stress on them? It's like most people are gonna be fine with the game running at 30. Once again, there's been other games that came out, especially this year, that's been running at 30. People have no issues with Zelda. You can say, ooh, but Turboverse Zelda it's on a handheld on old hardware. It's like same with this. This is only $4 console. It's like you could probably get 60 FPS on a $2,000 and high-end PC. So it's like whatever. I'm pretty sure that the people who love Bethesda games and the Bethesda games and the Fallout, Skyrims are not gonna care if this game runs at 30 to be immersed into this epic space RPG. I don't think the average person really cares. The average fan doesn't care. It's these Sony fanboys and Xbox haters who care the most. Which, if you only have a PlayStation, you can't play the game anyway. So I don't know why you guys are chiming in, because you can't play the game anywhere. The most you can play it is on a YouTube app. So I don't know. And this guy says, "Come here," as he's calling the pony, because Dreamcast Guy is pretty much known as a pony at this point, like a Sony fanboy at this point. It is pretty obvious. Especially when that poll, that is the most funniest thing. When you try to hate on Xbox and it just backfires, that is just hilarious. They are literally like that cartoon, Pokemon cartoon, when I was a kid watching that show. You had the bad guys try to capture the Pikachu. They will fail each and every episode. It's kind of like these Sony fans at this point. You keep trying to hate on Xbox and it just backfires, and you keep blasting off again to try to do antic, and it backfires so much so that a game developer had to jump in and say, "Hey, what are you talking about?" And they gotta respond back to this foolishness. It's like, geez, it's like, what is enough? Man, it's just like the whole descent into just saltiness at this point. A whole day of just being butthurt about Xbox. It's just fascinating. Okay, even Jeff Keighley did a poll too, and his poll was like the same results. People said the showcase was amazing. Yeah. It's like, geez. Not going the way you thought. Definitely didn't. It's like, man. This is just hilarious. As much as they try to hate on Xbox and Xbox exclusives, it just backfires. People are loving Xbox right now. The hype is through the roof of Starfield. People are excited to play that game. Why can't they just give Xbox props, bro? Just give Xbox props and move on. Why you gotta be so butthurt and salty and make these different copium posts where you're like, hey, just say Xbox, you're doing some good stuff, and move on. They just can't do it. Just can't do it at all. I'm pretty sure a lot of Xbox fans are going to get praised that Spider-Man 2 when it releases. But they just can't do the same with Starfield. Just say, hey, it's a great game. It looks great. But you chose the route of being salty and coping. It's just pathetic. But I'm gonna conclude it right here. More L's for Dreamcast Guy at this point. Just apparently he's just a PlayStation guy holding L's, just consistent L's, because they're trying so hard to hit on Starfield, and he isn't the only one. We're gonna focus on more of these other guys later who just been hating on Starfield or Xbox games showed on this direct. But yesterday was an amazing day for Xbox fans. So many great games that we're gonna have in the future to look forward to. I wish I could say the same for PlayStation though. It's like, once again, as a person who owns both these consoles, I don't really know what I gotta look forward to on my PS5 besides Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy games. Like, what other big games I'm gonna look forward to on my PlayStation? I don't know yet, so I'm gonna click it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this the saltiness from Dreamcast Guy specifically. And yeah, leave a like this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and peace.